Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my layer of action figures. Today's going to be a bit of a different video. It's going to be blah 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 disclaimer. I'm sorry I'm taking this with a bit of a certain sarcasm, but I mean this is becoming really ridiculous. So as you can see, I went to YouTube, want to cut out some of the people's disclaimers. It's due to be, I guess it's going to be libel reasons. I guess these platforms don't want you to do this kind of stuff. You can see there's doctors talking about medical injury and then telling you that they're not able to give any kind of medical advice, which seems very weird because if you have the name doctor next to you, it means that's a protective title, so you cannot go and call yourself Dr. John, a doctor of action figures, because that does not work in that way. The same thing for lawyers. As you can see, there's also a lawyer explaining you, he's giving you talking about legal stuff, and he cannot be because he's not your lawyer, and also trying to cover his butt. There's also investments, and that's going to be the part I'm going to be touching on. Now, of course, I think this is totally ridiculous. I understand that there can be some liable consequences for certain groups or certain people, but this has become beyond ridiculous and stupid. Now, I'm talking in the video regarding investment and do I believe certain packs figures. Also, I will be doing another channel where we're doing Lego stuff, but that's in the future. And I'm going to use this video for both channels as a disclaimer. Now, when I'm talking about investment, where do I get this knowledge from and how do I determine something is for a good investment? I've been collecting for 45 years now. Over 45 years, I have had a shop. I have been an exclusive distributor for different brands of action figures. So I believe I have a certain experience and can follow certain trends on the market. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be getting a 100% score. And I mean, come on, let's be honest. Nobody can give you any kind of top secret information that you can become rich overnight. I mean, it does not exist. Speculation, it's you are taking some facts, you're exposing the facts, and you're coming to a conclusion based on those facts. Now, let me give you an example of like what are the things that I take into consideration and how I come to these conclusions. So, of course, we're going to be talking about this figure here, who's Chuckle, who is a Comic-Con exclusive for Hasbro Lab exclusive. Now, for me, I would have told you this figure, well, pick it up. I remember when it came out, it was a huge panic around it. A lot of collectors freaked out. Not putting the fault on you. I was part of those collectors freaking out because I was not sure to be able to get one. Of course, there was some collectors were smart and figured out that there was a little QR code that you could scan and pre-order it. Sadly, I was not aware about it, and when people posted the information, of course, guess what? The QR code did not work. So that was a bit of a panic. Now, it is a logical thing. You can say, well, John, yeah, it is. It's a Comic-Con exclusive. It's limited. It's not going to be reproduced. So, of course, you could be right on this part. But if you look at it, this figure is still available at Hasbro Pulse. I can't remember if the one in the US is available, but I know the one in Europe is still available and it hasn't sold out. We're not even going to go into the other Comic-Con exclusive, who was the Baroness and the Crimson Twins. Pack. I will be reviewing those things in the future, but both of those sets are still available, not selling at all. So will it sell within the future? Might be having some people worth investing in. Hey, maybe. For now, and from what I'm seeing, it's not such good investment. Now, of course, I would have told you this at the time. This is going to be the Dr. Mindbender. We're also going to be reviewing this figure. But I would have said go for it, and I would have been right. The figure is a Comic-Con exclusive. It was very hard to purchase. We remember what happened with Serpento was the same thing. And you would have a certain guess and you would hit right. I mean, it's not rocket science. Figuring out something who's exclusive, has a very low number of production, is going to be a collectible item. I mean, yeah, this is logic and this is how I come to these conclusions. Now let's take some figures that may not have this kind of connotation. I'm going to give you the example of this Snake Eyes, who's a swivel arm figure from 1983. from the 1982 line. This is the G.I. Joe figure that is basically one of the most expensive figures that you can find on the market as a mint in box figure. I think Christie's did an auction for this figure. They had one up for sale. I think it went for $25,000. I mean, who would have imagined in 1983 that this cheap lame figure, sorry to use that, no, he was not lame, but I mean cheap figure. If you go to the Netflix documentary, The Toys Who Made Us, you will see that it's a very good documentary. There's one about G.I. Joe. It's fantastic, but everybody knew in the G.I. Joe community before that, or if you didn't, well, maybe you did not get this information, but I knew about it before. Now, when G.I. Joe launched, they had a certain number of figures in the original 13 who were going to be launched, and in that they needed extra paint. The only problem is China told them, well, if you want that, it's going to bring you the cost of those figures up. So Hasbro said, well, let's add a figure to the line. Let's put no paint on him. As you can see, he's totally black. There's no paint job on him. So this is why I'm calling him a cheap, lame figure. And that was the opinion of, I would say, Hasbro too. Let's put this figure up, no paint on it. So the fact that we're saving money on producing this figure, we can put more details on the other figure. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy that the figure that first came out as an excuse to be able to put more paint applications on the original figures was going to be the one that was going to be the most praised by collectors. Now let's get into the Lego and the building brick situation. I know that may not interest the people who collect action figures, but it can be also interesting because we will be talking about certain products who are also related to action figures. Here I have a Creo G.I. Joe set, which is an exclusive for Toys R Us. Now, of course, when these things came out, Lego has a bit more purist collectors. People don't want to mix up their bricks with other bricks. So that's going to be an issue. So, of course, this is not Lego, so Lego purists will not want this. But for me, it was an interesting box. I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan. I had a lot of fun building up Lego also as a kid. I also mixed up Lego constructions with some of my G.I. Joe figures, so that's good memories from my childhood. But let's get back into the investment part. Now, of course, these items were on clearance. Toys R Us went bankrupt, so of course those things kind of went out for a ridiculous price. Now, was that a good move to buy them when they were in clearance? Yes, it is, because you never know what can happen. And we're talking about G.I. Joe. So it's a bit of a no-brainer there either that you would have invested some money and said, well, I'm going to take a risk. I don't really care about it. Let's pick some up and let's see if we can sell them down the line at a more expensive price. Now, even G.I. Joe went up and down. I remember when I started changing my collection and getting rid of my loose figures to only focus on the mint in box, the mint in box figures did not have the values that are of the figures of today. Today, the market is insane for this kind of products, and it's going to be the same with this. So it would be a good investment. Now, if we go into more logical sets, that would be, you have all these sets who are like exclusive to Lego shop. If you purchase a certain amount of money, you can get them. All these sets are logical investments that you're going to do. The same goes for this one here. Anybody who's a Star Wars fan and who knows the Lego places on YouTube that do videos will talk you about this one and how it's a good investment, or maybe not so much because so many people are buying this set, but it's sold out now and the prices are kind of stagnant, but at the beginning were going up. But this set is going to be worth money down the line. In the future, there's going to be people who will want this 501st Battle Pack and are going to be ready to pay 2 or 3 times the price. This was another no-brainer. Now let's talk about something who's totally insane, and I haven't seen anybody on YouTube or not any of the big channels. Maybe some of you have also heard about the, how do you call it, those helmets that Lego did. Now, I'm not a fan of them. I think they look bad. I'm not really a fan of this kind of stuff. There's better stuff out there than that. Now, I can understand Lego is a bit special, and people who do Lego may not want to do action figures, and vice versa. So what's happened is in that line, I might have told you, well, hey, you should maybe invest in Darth Vader's helmet, Boba Fett helmet. I mean, those are no-brainers, but come on, nobody announced me on the videos I watched that, hey, you should buy the TIE Fighter pilot Lego helmet, because that one is going to go insanely expensive when it sells out. Was there a problem in production? Was there some other issue? I cannot tell you, because I didn't follow that part of Lego, and I didn't think it was interesting to have. But that helmet was discontinued, and suddenly is worth 5 or 6 times the price of it, and has more value than the Darth Vader or the Boba Fett helmets who have been discontinued. So you see, there's certain things that you can predict, and there are certain others that you cannot predict, because for some kind of reason, those things should exploded and became ridiculously rare and expensive. Now, I'm not going to continue this rant for ages. I just did this video as a disclaimer regarding the investment part and what do I think of the value of the figure. Now, what I would like, because I also believe that the people who come to my channel and watch these videos in the future or now do have common sense and understand that this is not a rocket science. It's not something who's exact. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you like it, and I'm going to be making more videos who are not going to be as boring as this and are going to be a lot more fun. So I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, and have a fantastic day.